What's up, wrestling fans? And to anybody who just likes fucking cool things in general. You have came to the right. You have come to the right place. You know what? With that being said, I'm thirsty. My first one of the day.
This is my second one.
What up, baby?
Not a whole lot, man. You know, I want to tell these dudes out there in TV land a story about last week before we get started. That's okay with you guys.
That's damn good with me.
You do your thing, brother.
So check this out, everybody out there in TV land, baby. I came back from Miami this week, and my man Pack Attack and Stan, they said, Wildcard, you seem a little down. You seem a little upset. And I said, man, I lost my smile this last week. And I just don't know what to do to get it back. You see, the women in Miami were beautiful. And my man Big Stan said, hey, there's a bar out there in Syracuse, New York that I want to take you to. And we're going to go right now. And I packed up the car and I said, let's go. So we drove over to Pack Attack's house. We picked up the Pack Attack and all three of us headed up to Syracuse, New York. And Big Stan was showing us this bar full of beautiful, lovely ladies. Now, unbeknownst to me, it was a bar full of nothing but Marines because that's where they hang out. When they're on shore leave and they come home, that's where they like to go. Now, me being me, I always got to say something off the wall and crazy. Big Stan and Pack Attack, they had my back when those Marines started coming at me. We came at them twice as hard. We were throwing them over the bar, under the bar, and through the bar. We were throwing them through the front door. And at the end of the day, Wildcard may not have got any ladies, but he had one hell of a good night. And for that, I got to thank both of you.
Ooh. It's rowdy. It's going to get rowdy tonight. Ooh.
One thing is for sure, two things is for certain. Big fight Saturday night doesn't always have to happen when Big Stan is in the squared circle for Southwest Pro Wrestling. That's right. Big fight Saturday night can happen anywhere at any time when it comes down to it. As long as it's on a Saturday night, but now we can do big fight Sunday night. We can do big fight Monday night, big fight Tuesday night, big fight Wednesday night, big fight Thursday night, big fight Friday night. It doesn't make us no difference. Just know that the end result will always be BSH, Pack Dog, and the Wild Card coming out victorious because that's just the way it is when you do it the way we do it. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Yeah, baby.
with that order of business taken care of, I want to go ahead and make sure that I don't go any further before I pay my respects to one of my biggest inspirations in wrestling, the one and only New Jack, the ECW legend, the hardcore legend. That's right. He passed away over the weekend. We lost a really, really vital part of professional wrestling when he passed away this week. Big inspiration of mine. Big inspiration to a lot of wrestlers. A very beloved character in all of professional wrestling. He will be missed. He was one of the realest ever, if not the realest ever. New Jack. This was for you, brother. That's right.
Let's have a moment of silence. All right, baby. Hit him.
Yeah.
Hey, a wise man, a wise, awesome man once told me, Yeah. With that being said, what time is it? Does anybody know what time it is? It's time.
Brother, it's time. It's that time.
It's time to roll the fucking tape.
Hit it.
Ooh, man. Hey, let's get this thing started off. Let's do some shout outs. We got M3. Oh, get it, Big Stan. What's up? Look at that. Hey, no.
Hold on, man. Make sure you see my Dr. X t-shirt. My Dr. X drip going on right here. My Dr. X swag.
Oh,
The greatest mind in all of professional wrestling. Because he's the best.
I'm gonna get to Dr. X in a second.
Throughout the entire Southwest region, brother. I didn't get this on my own, brother. That's right. All the fans from this area, brother, they were with me. All the fans all around the world were with me. And we obtained this prize together. But okay. I'm gonna get some more. Okay. All right. As you were saying, Pac Daddy, shout outs. Marcos, aka M3 Reviews. My brother.
McDJ, ACDC, homies, Cobra Clan, homies. We got, Curtis Schultz, boy.
In the house.
I'm going to hit you up after the show, bro. You know what I'm talking about. I think that's it for now. That's all we got. You see somebody pop up, give them a shout out.
Most definitely, because that's what we do.
Well, let me ask you a couple questions about Dr. X. I saw him in your shot. I don't know a lot about him.
Brother, Dr. X is actually a legendary professional wrestler throughout the Southwest region.
Oh.
Go back and check out some of General Skandar Akbar's lineage of Devastation Incorporated. He was hands-on trained by the one and only legendary late great Skandar Akbar. See, that's the thing that people got to understand. BSH, BiggStanHarris, brother, I have crossed paths with some of the greatest legends. If not the greatest legends, it was some of the people that was trained hands-on by some of the greatest legends. That's right. I am very proud to be able to say that I am a descendant of the one and only late great Skandar Akbar by way of the greatest mind of professional wrestling, my main man, my soul brother number one, Dr. X. That's right.
Yeah. So, hey, put some respect on that X, bro. Ooh.
All the way, baby. All the way.
Oh, man. I'll tell you what, man. This is another good episode. Another good episode I thought done right. Every one of them is rushed. We all know that. You cannot stuff in an hour and 35 minutes, whatever it is, with commercials.
Before we take off with this episode, we got to go back and make sure that we incorporate a piece of last week's episode that I didn't get a chance to throw in there, a very important factor that needs to be heard and needs to be put out there. Booker T, during his run as King Booker. He is the one and only man in all of WWE history that is crowned as the champion of champions.
And don't you forget it.
Exactly. He defeated none other than the great John Cena which was the WWE champion, and the legendary Big Show, who was the ECW champion at the time. Booker T was quite naturally the world's heavyweight champion, King Booker, and he came out victorious that night. And I wanted to make sure that I highlighted that fact, because here on the 3 Live stream, here on the Big Stand and Pack Show with the Wild Card, we're all about putting all the facts out on the table, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
what I got to say to that,
put that out there.
you know what I got to say to that. Anytime we got to shout somebody out, yeah, boom. It's good. It's good, baby.
I love it. But tonight is all about none other than the showstopper, the Heartbreak Kid, the icon, Shawn, Mr. WrestleMania, Michaels. Yeah.
But yeah, before we start the show, I don't know if y'all can put your favorite wrestlers in any kind of order, but my favorite 3, I don't know if I've said it before, maybe I have on the show, will be Austin, Flair, and HBK. And top 3 out of hundreds of great wrestlers that have paved the way, that have done the dirt, that have put in the time and the blood and the tears and the sweat. 3. And that's just my opinion. And that's my ultimate 3. Yeah. Maybe some of y'all can't define it down to that narrow, but that's just me.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to do, but when you're able to do that, that puts a lot of extra sauce on it. You know what I'm saying? I already know when it comes down to the Big Stand Pack Show with the Wild Card, you got to have the sauce.
Hey, that shit's hot too.
Yeah. So that's saucy right there.
So you can't put them in order there, can you, bro?
Man, I have revised my list so many times up to the point to where depends on the day, depends on the situation. But where I play Shawn Michaels, he's definitely in the upper echelon on my list of favorites. I can't really put a number on him, a specific number on him at this particular point in time, but just know that he is definitely up there.
That's what I'm talking about.
I agree.
We embrace the freeze frame, brother.
That's it.
Wait for it. Wait for
there
it.
It is.
All right, I'm back.
Go back.
He's definitely in the top 20 range. Where at in the top 20, I really can't say, but Shawn Michaels is definitely in my top 20 favorites.
Hey. I'm just gonna lay it out like this. Shawn Michaels, where he sits in my top 20, is number 1. He is the greatest of all time, hands down.
Whoa.
Without a doubt.
Sweats. We got to choose up in this motherfucker, dude. I'm getting the sweats, bro. What's up?
That's it. I mean, and don't get me wrong, the top 20 always fluctuates, but number 1 never changes. Ever.
3 never changes.
And that's good that you can have a man that holds that position, with the way wrestling changes and evolves after so many years, and if that man can be consistent with holding that number 1 spot for you, then that means he did something, that was very impactful for you. Yep. You know what I'm saying? I have so many inspirations that kind of fit my personal, just everything that I incorporate into my wrestling persona.
Yeah.
Of course, Shawn Michaels would have to do with the fact that when I'm trying to make a comeback in a match, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's one of those names that will come to mind as I'm actually performing as crazy as this might sound to certain people, but I'm actually going about reenacting something that I've seen someone do before. You know, as when I was in my time as a youngster, you know, or during my time as a youngster, I can go back and you know, catch a memory of something that was happening in a particular situation that I might be in during a match. And you know, of course, Shawn Michaels will be one of those that something that I've seen him do, and I will incorporate in the match. So it's you know, again, he's a vital part of what I've come to have as a part of my moveset in wrestling.
Yeah. Marcos in the chat says his favorite three are Rey Mysterio, The Rock, and Hulk Hogan. All three super respective. And McDJ ACDC says Pentagon Jr., Rey Mysterio, and
Hayabusa. Woo!
Yes,
That's
I always pronounce that wrong, man. It's like one of those things I hear it in my head, but I can't do it.
Hayabusa, baby. Oh man, you got me hyped. You got me hyped, MacD.
Hey,
man, shout out to my brother M3 Reviews. That was a hell of a trio that you named. But when it comes down to anyone from Japan, from the Japan wrestling circuit, period, you're gonna talk about some Hayabusa, baby. Now that's when you get my attention over everybody. I mean, you know, we can go Yuji Nagata's. We can go with the Rainmakers. We can go with Stan Hansen, Dr. Death Steve Williams, Dan Spivey. You name it. You could go Yusha Thunder Liger. Yeah, but brother, when you go talking about my man Hayabusa, baby. Busa. Like fire on the BSH. I'm telling you that right now.
Hey, see that McDJ CDC? Bringing the content. Hey.
Absolutely.
Soldier in the chat. Hey, besides that, Danny Dolphin in the chat. Hey, Danny Dolphin, I didn't see my shout out in there. What's up? Give me some love. What's up?
Danny Dolphin, what's happening?
Go ahead, wild card.
MC DJ is talking about Ultimo Dragon. Man, you don't get much better than Ultimo Dragon. You want to talk about in-ring Ultimo Dragon, man, that dude is untouchable. Just that's great in-ring worker right there.
Yeah, let's keep touching on this stuff, guys. It's great, but we definitely need to get after some Shawn Michaels.
We gotta get on HBK, man. You know, we gotta get on it.
Yeah, because I got a little special segment I'm gonna do during it. So, wild card, what's the first thing you want to say about this segment, this show? Because he is your favorite.
Whew. So right off the bat, I'm gonna say that it's one of the better ones, but it is rushed. And I know you're saying that it's an hour and a half. There's a lot to fill, especially you're talking careers that 20, 30 years long. You're getting.
Yeah, bro, you could go an hour and a half or more on DX alone. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I want to say that to lead into this. If you're gonna watch any Shawn Michaels biography, anything like that, WWE released Heartbreak and Triumph, right?
Yeah,
watch that. I would definitely watch that over this. Not saying that this is bad, but the Heartbreak and Triumph goes into everything that they talked about here and a whole lot more.
Yeah,
there's tons more in that DVD. So if you're really impressed with this, go check out, because that one's Heartbreak and Triumph is like 3.5 hours. So, and they really dive deep into everything from his career.
Yes, we're definitely going to do the best we can after these shows are over to really dig into some shit. Really take some time on some events and go at it. Go ahead, bro.
So I want to say that they left the stuff that I really thought they should have talked about in this one. They should have touched on Sister Sherry again, because I feel like she's not getting any love in any of these. She didn't get any love with the Booker T one. She didn't get any love with really a whole lot of attention in the Randy Savage one. She didn't get any attention here in this one. she is one of the managers of wrestling, not just any era, but she is the antithesis to Miss Elizabeth. You know, she is where Miss Elizabeth was the hero, Sister Sherry was her villain. You got to show Sherry the love. You have to. They didn't talk about his first entrance theme as Shawn Michaels with Sister Sherry singing it. Really thought they should have talked about that. And they really should have talked about his T-bone suplex finisher and really touched on his run with the NWO. And I will say that at the end of it, they jumped from 2002 to 2008, and they skipped the Chris Jericho rivalry and feud. They really should have touched on that Jericho rivalry. And that's the stuff they should have touched on, I feel like.
There is so much. They're just not going to be able to fit it. That's why people like us can talk about later on some podcasts, on some lives, on some some shows. Shout out to the Big Stand and Pack show with the wild card, because that's what we bring you. All right, we ain't gonna pull no punches. All right.
A lot of this stuff might get carried over to the BSH Live YouTube channel. We never know. We're just gonna see what the future holds. We're gonna get a lot of this material jotted down on paper, and we're gonna get everything discussed and put into fruition as we go. You know what I'm saying? But these are all very good things that we could touch on again, if we don't get a chance to touch on them here on the Big Stand and Pack show on a 3 Live stream channel, baby. Because this right here is where it's at right now. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about right here, right now, baby.
Hey, so I don't want to get no heat, but it's where it's always at. You got to come to the joint, bro. I'm just busting with you, man. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, the reason I said that was because of this comment right here. We are not going to get into this right now, but this is a fucking fire topic, bro.
Look, I'm just going to put it like this for Curtis Schultz. I'm going to put it out there real simple, quick, and fast like in a hurry for you, Curtis Schultz. I want you to look past the lenses and look into the eyes, because I got 2 words for you, Curtis Schultz. Suck it!
Fuck it! Ooh. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, though. There's so many different conversations we can have, and there no disrespect to anybody and who they prefer. Great conversations, bro. But that's one of them. That's the things we want to do. I have a lot of respect for this.
Let me clarify something. By me saying that the 3 Live stream is right now, is because the 3 Live stream is going right now. You know what I'm saying? BSH Live is later.
Oh, hey, if the man calls me up, texts me, and says, "Pat Dog, I need you over on my channel," guess what I'm doing? Done.
You're doing exactly what we did this week and packing up and moving shop.
I'm going to show y'all exactly that when it comes down to it. I don't have with any ex members, okay? But this right here should answer the question when it comes down to it, brother. If you're gonna have to choose a side, and don't get me wrong, I'm DX all day long. But if it came down to it, if I was involved in that match with Sting and Triple H, I would have had to join the side of the NWO.
I'm not touching it right now. I'm not touching it because we're kind of spinning off on some tangents right now. So I'm not touching it right now, but I would love to go battle on that deal. Go battle. Heels up, straight up. And you know what, McDJ? BiggStanHarris, he's my fucking champ, bro. Right there.
DJ, my main man. Most appreciated.
So I have a lot of respect, and I'm gonna get touched later. Shawn Michaels is a man. He owned up to everything he does. He did his due diligence, and into making things right with people. There's a lot of people who won't do that. When you're talking about some of the stuff he did, some of the things he did to people, he was right front and center on this TV right here in my living room, owning up to every bit of it. That is the biggest man in my book. So I got all the respect, even more respect in the world than I had before to him. That's how I was raised. There was a time that I was very arrogant, and to be honest with you, I was a drug addict as well. And I can relate to a lot of things that he went to. Very conceited, didn't want to listen to what people had to say. I had a couple close friends. Shout out to my brother Bo from Florida, my best friend. Doesn't matter what I did, he always stick with me. So it's these people, they're just like us. Okay, they have feelings, they got emotions, they got troubles they got to go through, man. And I got all the respect in the world, even more than I had for them before.
Right on.
So yeah, we should definitely start off going on the rockers, bro.
Yeah,
we're about half hour in, so we gotta get moving. The rockers was tight, man.
The Midnight Rockers?
Yeah.
You mean the Midnight Rockers or just the Rockers?
The Midnight Rockers. I like the Midnight Rockers.
Right on.
I'll let you guys kind of dictate what part of the show you'd like to talk about, but one part I want to talk about, and we're not going to do any specific order. Like I remember watching the match with him and Ric Flair, and dude, I'm telling you, I'm not going to lie to you one bit. That got me right there. That was like, what I'm saying? You can't get more heart than that.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Yeah, dude, I gotta agree. When he's sitting in the corner and he's tuning up the band, and he just says, "I'm sorry." That's in the documentary here, Ric Flair said that you can't top that as far as storytelling and wrestling, and you really can't, because they touched on it in the, they kind of touched on the beginning parts of it where Shawn Michaels says he's going to put him down like Old Yeller and stuff like that. They didn't really show all the buildup, and I think if they should have showed a good majority more of that buildup than what they did, because with Shawn Michaels in that corner, because Shawn Michaels would come out about every week before that and just say stuff like, I don't want to do this, I shouldn't have to do this, but I'm the one who's got to man up to do this and stuff like that. Just it was real powerful leading up to it, and then it all came to a head, and it was a great payoff. It was a great finish out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's sitting in the corner, he says, "I love you and I'm sorry," and then he puts him down. It's
Dude,
great storytelling all the way around.
You could see it. I remember watching live. You could tell that's what he was saying, man. You could see that he didn't want to do it, but he's like, it's the business. Everybody knows that when you go out and you take the fall. You know what I mean? That's how you pay the dues to the business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just saying that's true.
So, keep the moments coming. Anything that you loved in the show, just bring it with it. Is there another segment that was there a segment that was your favorite overall?
In this documentary?
Yeah, and I know you know all about it. We know about even more than this stuff, but
honestly, I love that they touched on the broken ring rope and the Rocker Championship stuff. I love that they touched on that, because that kind of went unknown for the longest time. I mean, for a good long time, I'd say like 15, 20 years or so. And the only people that knew were the people in the arena that night.
Yeah, because that was a house show, correct?
No, it was a taping for one of their shows.
Oh, okay.
Because they would tape like weeks in advance and stuff. So that was really cool. That was actually on a DVD that got released called WWF's like unreleased matches and stuff like that. And so if you want to watch the entire match, it's out there. It's actually really easy to get a hold of to watch. But I love the fact that they touched on it, and they spent a lot of time on it for what it was. You know, they talk about the rope breaking. You can see they show the rope snapping. You know, when Shawn hits the turnbuckle and the rope breaks, you can see that they're walking out the belts. They're not happy. The match sucked. They talked to Bret Hart about it. They talked to Shawn Michaels about it, which I thought was really cool because, you know, Bret doesn't really talk too much about that stuff. Not any fault of his own, but just from the interviewers don't ask him about that stuff. So he finally got a chance to actually talk about it and voice his feelings. Now, I will say that it is unfortunate that Jim Neidhart didn't get to voice his side of it and how he felt in this documentary because he passed a few years ago. But hey, man, that is what it is. But that would probably be my favorite segment in the whole thing, because there were parts of the show or parts of the episode where I thought they would go over because they were in that era of Shawn Michaels, and then they skipped over. I mean, they just completely blew past it. So I'd have to go with the Rockers winning the championships and then having it stripped away from them that night. That'd be my favorite part.
Big Stan?
Oh, man. I enjoyed Shawn Michaels as a part of the Midnight Rockers / the Rockers, but nothing really started getting my attention with Shawn as far as taking him more seriously like it did when he made his solo run, because it seemed like everything that went with his solo run really defined his career. You know, of course, he was responsible for Kevin Nash getting over the way he did. Of course, the matches that he had with like Sid, Razor Ramon, you know, man, it wasn't so much of the stuff that was on the documentary that I was moved by. It's just things that I know of from actually being a fan and watching him during the times that things were going on. You know, him and Bret Hart's matches, you know, the WrestleMania 12 Iron Man match. Things like that. You know, him and Stone Cold even being tag partners for a time. You know, I remember all these types of things. I'm about the minute stuff, you know, the small details and things like that. You know, him taking on the Undertaker. And then I'm talking about early on. I'm not talking about, you know, later on. You know, I'm talking about this stuff was during the build-up of the Attitude Era. You know, all of these things about Shawn Michaels was my favorite points in his career, because there's just so many valuable gems within that area. You know, like 94 to 98.
Yeah,
you know
you guys can probably guess the era that grabbed me, because you know the kind of guy I am. You know which era that was, dude. That's my shit, dude. The things that they were doing, like he was talking about, we got in trouble for a lot of it, but that's what I wanted to be.
Leading up, you know, the stuff that led up to the curtain call, that led to DX. You know what I'm saying? D-Generation X, all of that stuff right there. If you're going to talk about Shawn Michaels, I don't know anybody that when you talk about D-Generation X, that's not going to be the first thing that comes to mind. I just don't see it happen.
Think about all the heat that they brought to themselves and how well it worked. It always resonated with me, because that's how we are. That's how we were when I was young. Just like we didn't fucking give a fuck. We said most of what we want. We fucked around. Like, look at this guy. Hey, M3 calling me arrogant still, man. Come on, man.
Don't be mad at the truth. Don't be mad at the truth.
I will start muting your mic, brother.
I tell you what.
If that's not arrogance, I don't know what it is, man.
Shut it down.
Here is a man that will shut down the sponsor to get his point across. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, that's hey.
Doesn't get no doesn't get no more cutting edge than that. You know.
We'll beat it up. We'll chop it up. We'll mix it up at the end of the day.
Right,
Go ahead.
that's what BS is all about.
Yeah. Another great part of that was when you're talking about wrestling, how can you not talk about entrances? Wrestling is a lot about innovation.
Yeah.
That's like there's not enough emphasis on entrances and what went into them and how that happened. And you have one of the most iconic entrances and wrestlers of all time with The Undertaker when they had the casket match. And then they had that match later on where Michaels was coming down from the ceiling like that.
The
and
Iron Man match, WrestleMania 12. Yep.
I'm a hardcore fan of Iron matches, Hell in a Cell, and what's the other one? But yeah, I love Iron Man matches, man.
I'm going to say this about Shawn Michaels' entrance. You know, when he was doing the whole Heartbreak Kid thing in the 90s, right before 98, you know, before he got hurt, like 96, 95, 96, he's the only wrestler that I can think of whose entrance music would replay as he's doing his entrance. That's how long his entrance was. From him dancing around, taking his earrings off, his chaps, his vest.
Oh, dude.
Doing his little,
hey,
you know.
You can't talk about him without seeing the.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like him just grooving down to the ring and, you know, high-fiving the fans and
or giving
arrogant.
The you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when he did the pose, you know what I'm saying? When he went double bicep and the pyro goes off and everything like that, that's something that you wait on. You're waiting on all of that to happen. And I would go as far as say this. I don't know whose decision it was in WWE to remove the pyro later on. I know they started doing budget cuts or whatever you want to call it, but some stuff you don't need to take out of the budget, like the pyro and the special effects and things like that. That kind of stuff right there is what turns up the crowd. And if it turns up the crowd, you need to keep it because the crowd is what it's all about. You're there, you first and foremost, make sure your crowd is happy. They're the ones paying the bill for this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And
And I want to say this.
Celebrated enough performer to where his pyro should have never got taken out.
Yeah, and I want to say this. And I want to say this as far as pyro goes. I want everybody out there to think about, say, Batista's entrance with no pyro.
Right.
Like Booker T's entrance, no pyro. You know, Goldberg's, no pyro. Right? Like, yeah. So I mean, the pyro is necessary for a lot of these wrestlers. Shawn Michaels is definitely one of them because, like you're saying, definitely it got the crowd hyped, man. Seeing the pyro, seeing their boy doing the stretch, getting geared up for the match, you know?
Yeah.
Bro, like when you say certain names of wrestlers, I like anything, whether it's a famous show or an actor, whoever. But when you put a wrestler and you say a name, my brain will do like little snaps. And one of the snaps with him is also when he's freaking belaying down to the freaking ring and he's freaking going down. You know what I'm saying? Dude, that's an iconic deal where he's just zip lining right on down, dude.
Yeah. And he does that forearm smash and he flips over and he does the kip up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, the kip up. I mean, you want to see it all when you watch him. Hey, so the kip up, tune up the band, all the stuff, man. Like when you watch his stuff, there were several times when I was watching his stuff, I would literally cringe. Oh, damn, I'm like, damn, he took a shot, bro. I mean, he was not afraid. And them joints hurt like a motherfucker. Damn.
And when it's crazy is go back after you understand how he broke his back. Go back and watch that match with Austin, and he does the Ric Flair bump in the corner where he tries to flip over, and his tailbone just smacks dead into that turnbuckle, dude. It just, and it's like you gotta kind of stop and think at that point. Like I know Shawn demonizes himself for being on painkillers and all that stuff, but at a certain point, I understand why the painkillers were there, because especially that era of wrestling, you had to man up and go out there and get the guy over before you could take a break. You couldn't take a break mid fight, mid run, mid story, mid anything, and he goes out there, he hits that turnbuckle post 5 miles an hour, flipping upside down, and
he did that a lot.
Yeah, and he crumbled. Like he went to do the flip, and his lower back hit, and you can just watch him crumble to the mat. He didn't finish the rotation like he normally would have or anything. That was it.
Yeah.
And then on that top, go ahead, Stan. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead. I got you after we finish. After you finish, I'm sorry.
And then I was gonna say, and then go back and watch that Austin match, and he's sitting on that top rope. And there's always, he's making that face like he's in like that cringe, like he's in pain, and he's hunched over. And watch that match, because he's climbing real slow, and he doesn't even fully stand up because he can't, and he takes longer to stand up on that top rope. And he's just like, he reminds me now of like Spawn or Batman, just kind of like hunched over a ledge, like kind of brooding or whatever, because he's. Right. That's what I don't know. The image comes to my mind like that, but just watch it and just watch that match and know that he's doing all of that with broken back, cortisone shots, and painkillers.
I know before you go, Big Stan, when they were talking at the end how he had to do that last match and his back was busted, and you're watching it and you're like, because I hurt my back a lot. That's what started my whole drug issue. Okay, not gonna lie, that's how it went down. When you have multiple back injuries and you understand the dynamics, like when you injure it, like you just walk, you take it for granted. When you take a step, all the muscles that are moving in your back, and you fuck it up, and you're like, oh, damn, and you watch him just get pounded and flipped upside down, and before he went out was like, how the hell did he do it? We've touched on this before. When Austin was a pile driver, when HBK's back was messed up, and the deal with Piper's deal, I'm trying to remember what that was. But this right here.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Big Stan. Yeah. I think we have encountered live TV again.
Man, I told George to watch out for those cables in the back. Man, that dude's always tripping over those cables, man.
Old pattern. Go ahead, Big Stan. You froze. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say what amazed me was the way that he came back from injury, and the fact that he was able to still perform at the same exact level.
Yes.
That he did before he was injured with a back injury. That was the point of my ultimate respect for HBK. It let me know the will that he had inside himself to do what he needed to do in order to perform for the people that admire him the most. That to this day is something that I never take for granted.
And I got to say this for Shawn Michaels. I want people out there who are watching, who aren't wrestling fans, who might not even know what we're talking about or anything like that, right? I want you to go watch SummerSlam 96 and watch the ladder match between him and Razor Ramon. And it's the second ladder match they had, SummerSlam 96. And I want you to watch that match and see how good Shawn Michaels is, okay? And then fast forward to 98, he broke his back, he retired, and skip all of that, but just understand that he broke his back, and in 98, he retired. And then after that, I want you to go watch 2002 SummerSlam unsanctioned match with him and Triple H. He doesn't miss a beat at all.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, when you're good at something, you can doubt it. Like he was doubting it. He was sober this time around. He was a man. He turned into a man. All right. And Hunter said he was doubting that he could do it. And you got to give Hunter a lot of respect. What would have happened to Shawn Michaels without Hunter there? We've talked about him several times on this show, and he was the ultimate heel. You watch him, you love to hate him, you hated him. You just did. But Triple H talks a lot. There may be issues that people have with him, whatever. There's issues that people have with me. Shit happens. But he was there for his brother the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you firsthand, it's like I've gone over before, brother. You're gonna be in some kind of pain a majority of the time when you're a professional wrestler. I don't wrestle near as much of a schedule, but you don't have to. So for the ones that do it on a weekly basis, monthly basis, you know what I'm saying? A yearly basis, however you want to put it. I actually have a light schedule compared to these guys that are on TV that do it every week because that's their main source of income, things like that. But all of the pain and everything that they endure, it doesn't take that long in order to endure it. And then, like I said, my job, my everyday life is so hectic. I can identify with all of this stuff firsthand, And I know that those bumps it's just unexplainable. You know what I'm saying? It's like once the adrenaline, once it levels back out, you go back to being a human. It's just like before I came in here to do this live stream. I'm just laid in the bed, just trying to relax. You're trying to relax. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to get ready, and whatever. But it's just like the pain is real. That's all I can say. And I know that man had to come back from a lot physically in order to do what he did after the fact. That his back was broken.
And you got to think too, right? Like your average wrestling match, if you've got a fully booked card, you got a 2-hour show, maybe at its longest is maybe 15 minutes. And for 10 to 15 minutes, these guys are throwing themselves around on concrete, into posts, into rings, into and also you got to understand, you're on the outside of the ring. Yeah, there's a mat, but that's a gym mat, and underneath that's concrete, and that gym mat's like that thick. Let's be honest.
There's no mats where I'm wrestling it right now. There's nothing but asphalt, baby.
Well, there you go. Even yeah. So I mean, these guys are throwing themselves around, like I said, for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So. It's brutal, and at the end of it, so like just as far as I say all that to lead into Shawn Michaels again, think about like his back, man, what he's going through for just to get out of bed, and and have some kind of interaction with Steve Austin on Monday Night Raw, to stand there for 5 minutes, to walk down the ramp, to bend his back to get into the ring, he's not running. He's not jogging. He's walking. And, and then to get in the ring and have a match with somebody like Steve. Steve wasn't the softest worker. You know what I mean?
Right.
He was very hard hitting. And so just in the ring with something like that, people don't give a lot of these guys the credit they deserve.
Well, that's why we're here, because we're going to give the credit every day. It doesn't matter whether it's here. It doesn't matter where it's there. It doesn't matter where we go on Wild Card channel, wherever you're going to get the respect that you deserve, because, you know, just because the outcome's predetermined doesn't mean these boys ain't putting on a hardcore show for your ass.
Yep.
How many times would you watch, a wrestling and you'd see somebody botch, like, you know, because they have certain ways they do things, like you may grab somebody and, you know, do that, and the dude would just completely miss. You never seen that with these guys,
Right.
these legends. You never saw that mess. Like, you'd watch it and you'd be like, oh, I could tell that he didn't even connect with the foot. These guys, it was all business all the fucking time. All business.
And the thing, go ahead, Stan.
No, it's just like it, and I don't know how everybody else was taught, but I was trained in Texas, and I was taught the Texas hard style of wrestling, which means you hit, you connect, you make sure that you connect. You know what I'm saying? If a man can't take it, he doesn't have no business being in the ring. That's the way I was taught.
Yeah.
If, you know, point blank.
That's a God the honest, true teaching for wrestlers. That when they get taught here, they get taught like that. You know, sometimes some of the teachers, they'll tell you to pull punches because you 6'5", 6'6", 6'10", 300 pounds. You can't hit somebody in the jaw as hard as you can, you know. But yeah, it's a legitimate crash, hardcore, very hard hitting style here. Definitely. And something I wanted to say about the documentary here that I thought was really cool is that they had an interview with the guy who brought the camera into the curtain call.
Yes, love that part.
They had an interview with him.
Yeah,
and I thought that was super cool. That was a really good touch. Really good touch.
That, I think, were you in the middle of something, Big Stan?
No, I was about to tell MacD. I was reading MacD's comment, and I was about to just let him know, yeah, he's absolutely right.
Yeah. But like, as Ric Flair what he said, if that would have happened back in the 70s and 80s, they would have got their ass whooped.
Oh, hell yeah.
They would have been that was, you could see that was the whole start of just, I don't give a fuck. You know, whether or not what they're doing in their mind, you know, like he said many times, my mindset wasn't right. My mind wasn't there, you know, and they were just doing what they wanted to do. That you could just see, like, if you go back and you're like, oh man, you can see the DX. You can see the I don't give a fuck attitude. You can just see it building and rolling. And when it hit, man, it was just, it was great. And I didn't know that one dude was the one responsible for videotaping the curtain call. Because anytime you find the video, it's that grainy, that old one.
Yeah, Marcos. Yeah, brother Marcos. Yeah, you're absolutely right as well, man. It's the same. It's the same with life in general. You know what I'm saying? When you getting beat down, brother, you just gotta keep coming back. You know what I'm saying? That's what defines us as men.
That's the crazy bastard mentality. That's the mentality you got to have to survive sometimes, especially when you don't have a fucking silver spoon.
Yeah. Curtis Schultz. This is the last comment I'm going to highlight for right now. Curtis Schultz said the best foul of all time was from the Shockmaster. Oh my God, I had to put that one out.
Curtis, hey, everybody in chat's on fire. Curtis, Marcos, DJ, Danny, Pop the Trunk Toys. Everybody's on fire tonight.
Oh man.
But I mean, I want to, like, this is a hard episode for me to do and cover, and I'll say why. Because there's so many areas that he was involved in that he did that I just want to go ahead and dissect and I want to talk about. But you can't. We're just doing the general review. He's one that you could just go in on.
But I mean,
I will say,
go ahead.
I will say that this Shawn Michaels here, he's the most interesting one out of all these biographies so far. He's the only WWE guy that they're going to be doing a documentary on that stayed WWE. WWF, WWE.
Yeah.
He didn't go to
Yeah.
WCW, TNA, and all this other stuff, right? So,
Absolutely.
so my biggest question here in this documentary. So Randy Savage, they didn't talk about his TNA run. Piper, they didn't talk about his TNA run. Okay. Shawn Michaels, they stopped at 2008 or 2010 when he retired. They didn't go into the Saudi Arabia match from the greatest Royal Rumble, whatever it was, when he came back with The Undertaker and Kane. They didn't go into any of that, which now I'm really curious as of why they're skipping those last bits, last little eras, because Austin retired and never came back.
They did that with Booker T. Booker T retired in like 08 or whatever for a little bit and went to TNA too. So I see that as well. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Big Stan.
Yeah, the thing was possibly it might have been the fact that Shawn and well, I know for sure Shawn wasn't satisfied with that Saudi Arabia match.
Yeah.
That could have been it. It could have been his personal call that he probably made. He just kind of wants to drift away from that, if he can avoid. And I get that. You know what I'm saying? That could have been it, and to be honest, I still have to go back and look and see just exactly what it was, that was supposedly so bad about it. But yeah, I'm almost for certain that that's got to be why Shawn didn't want to have that put into it in any way or another, because he's had so many great matches with those guys, that at the end of the day, that really didn't matter for his career or whatever,
To be honest with you, there's such a large body of work with all these guys. There needs to be some better platform to put the shine to it, because you just can't do it within these time constraints. It just isn't possible.
That's
right.
true.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and highlight this while I'm thinking about it, because I know we're starting to get towards the end. I just want to make sure that I specify that Shawn Michaels was one of the few guys that actually was a member of D-Generation X and the NWO, along with Ravishing Rick Rude, who was the first guy to make the jump from DX to the NWO, which, that's pretty famous within itself. Sean Waldman, aka the 1-2-3 Kid, aka Six Pack, aka X-Pac,
the light
from
kid.
NWO to DX.
Hey,
and he was actually Sean X-Pac was actually the leader of DX initially going in. Before Triple H was declared the leader. All of these are just little fun facts that I like to put out there for everybody that might not know.
Yeah, right.
And
here.
I just real quick, Curtis Schultz, he asked a question earlier about what group was better, DX or the NWO. And I'm going to tell you, Curtis Schultz, these glasses, they're only two colors, and you don't see no green and black. You see white and black.
Oh, man.
You know why, Curtis Schultz? Because the NWO is for life.
Danny says she liked Mick Foley and McDJ. Which role? I like Cactus Jack. If anybody is on our Instagrams, I'm talking about. Bang bang. Dude, Cactus Jack is one of my guys, bro.
Man, I can't wait. I can't wait to cover Cactus Jack. Mick Foley, well, you know, can't wait to cover the Hardcore Legend, man.
Oh, I can't either.
Gonna be fun.
I can't either. Bring it on, man. Bring it on.
So does anybody have a favorite match from Shawn Michaels that they would like to make sure that they shout it out before we get out of here?
Favorite match. I am. You know why I'm partial? I really like the Stone Cold and HBK match with Mike Tyson. You know,
Yeah.
Just you know where everything was going with that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the Iron Man match is one of my all-time favorites right there.
Right on.
I'm gonna show this. Check this. This is my favorite match from Shawn Michaels. This is the outfit he wore 96 SummerSlam against Razor Ramon in the ladder match, second ladder match. That's my favorite match.
Right on. That's probably one of my 3 top attires from Shawn. Well, I'm gonna say 4. That the attire from WrestleMania 12, the black with the red trim, and his red with the Texas Hearts.
We have to talk about his outfits, man.
The 97 or 96 Royal Rumble, or the 97, the one that was in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
And then my second favorite outfit of his was the black and green DX that he wore at Insurrection.
Okay, yeah.
And he had the black hearts, and it had the DX logos, like it said D-Generation X over the hearts.
Right.
I
mean, I'm sitting there saying yes. There's just too many. Like when you say with Razor Ramon, damn, yes. When you talk about his pants, you know, his ring attire, I love the white ones with the red hearts on them, and then you got the DX outfits, and then he had some nice red ones. Dude, he killed it. He killed it with the presentation.
Yeah,
top notch.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, he was a showstopper for sure.
Oh, you know, DFS.
Every name that they gave him, you know what I'm saying? Every subtitle that he had, he lived up to. He earned all of it. He was a showstopper. He was the main event. He was Mr. WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Ric Flair said he's the greatest in-ring performer. Do you have any idea what that means?
You know, that means a lot coming from somebody like Ric Flair.
From Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Him saying greatest in-ring performer. I was blown away. I'm like, oh my God. Like, because dude, Ric Flair had the whole bag. The whole bag on the mic, in the ring. It didn't matter. Dude was 24/7 top notch.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
When you get a praise like that from Ric Flair, you know it's the truth. Because Ric Flair is fully aware. Who else is going to be aware of Ric Flair, what Ric Flair has done besides Ric Flair? You know?
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. Like that's the tippy top best compliment you could ever get. Period. Hands down.
I mean, do you guys
because here's the thing, going back to those injuries and things that we had noted, you know, man, your mind, you know, in order for your mind to surpass the injuries and still be able to perform at a top level, you know, you gotta have your mind prioritized during a match to where if something happens, you know, and you're enduring these big hits, these big blows to the body, and you're still able to come out with a top-notch performance. You know, all of that lays testament to the will of the man. And Shawn Michaels is definitely one of those guys, you know, that has proven himself, you know, again, to be one of those elite performers. And that's the thing that makes you, you know, that good, is to be able to still go out there and put on a stellar performance despite the wear and tear on your body, because that is a lot. That takes over. That can take over the mind real easy. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just how the body works. But when you can override all of that and still come out and, leave the people blown away, that right there says a lot about you.
Every wrestler that's had some kind of hardcore-ish, high-flying type of style that's around Shawn Michaels' age, Mick Foley's age, they're creeping up to like that 60 age bracket. All of them say every morning when they wake up, they stretch just to be able to make it through the day.
Right.
That says a lot about the wear and tear on the body.
Do you understand that these guys are doing this to give people entertainment? This is entertainment. Another thing is, too, if I can get a pause on the show behind me, I'll do it at some point in time. But we're talking about injuries. We're talking about backs, or the spine in the back is the freaking is the foundation of your whole body, the whole foundation. Does anybody, when he did the super kick, do you realize what he would put his body through to perform that maneuver?
Yeah.
Dude, when you see that freeze frame and you see that, it's like, how's that even fucking possible, dude? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, also, I want to highlight this too for Shawn Michaels. Before his back injury, watch him come out to the ring before the back injury and watch him come out to the ring after when he comes back. When he comes out to the ring, he comes out bow-legged when he starts coming back in 2002. He walks, his hips move side to side, left and right.
Hips. Yeah.
Yeah. In 2002, when he comes back, he's walking like this, like side to side. He's not walking just straight on,
Right.
When you have back injuries, especially hip injuries, you learn what the problem is rotation.
Yeah.
Rotation. So I used to get that way toward the end, and I was very robotic in movements. So I didn't do twists or just do this, where you take your upper body and you just lean over.
Yeah.
Or you go to pick something up, you don't bend over. I would just bend my knees. When you've had them injuries, you learn how to move differently, and people can tell like he moves differently. I pinned it out right away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right on. Well, yeah.
Oh, hold on. You got a question from the chat, sir.
Uh-oh.
Do I have a super move? Okay, let's use M3. Yeah, it's funny that you say that. I'm gonna be honest with you. Every move from Big Stan.
You want to know? Hey, you want to know what his super move is? Right here. That shit right there, boy. When that hits you, you don't need a move.
Brother, now my finisher as of late has just been the power bomb, but and it's been told to me every move from Big Stan is a super move, because every time it's time for me to get my stuff in, the people are they're reacting, because every move is hard hitting and wig splitting, if you know what I'm saying. So appreciate you for asking that question, brother, so I can go ahead and specify and clarify for everybody that might not know. When it comes down to a BSH move set, every move is a special move, brother. And that's just the way it's going down.
I don't know about this, but I need my mods to go ahead and, hey, mods, go ahead and mute this guy.
No, your mods let us have it.
Viagra and pinning a motherfucker down. Come on, man. Come on, M3.
Check out what this special move is right there in the comments.
Next time, baby, we head up to Syracuse. We got to take Marcos, baby.
Hey.
Definitely.
And then when we go up there, we can all show the ladies what 60-minute men look like.
You better believe it, brother. You better believe it. Oh man. Yeah, I believe Marco set us up with that one, man.
Yeah.
He set us up with that one.
Hey, don't be bringing none of this in there, dude. You know what I'm saying? Don't be bringing that, bro.
No, you can't be flopping.
Hey, all right, everybody put some final remarks on this thing, man. And we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. I wish we could had more time, but hopefully the stories that we're gonna bring to people after the biographies are over, we can really get into some real good wrestling content. What's up, Patrick Stuckey?
That's my little brother right there.
Shut up. What's up,
Big
man?
man's baby brother.
That's my brother man right there. Yeah, he had just called me and I told him what we had going on, what we was in the middle of, and lo and behold, he hit us up. He done joined the party. What's up with it, Brody?
Yeah, we about ready to close. We about ready to close the curtain, man. Sorry about that, bro.
But yeah, that guy right there was with me just about every week, every show. I don't care if it was Monday Nitro. I don't care if it was Monday Night Raw, Thursday Night Thunder, ECW on Friday nights, the pay-per-views. I mean, we was right there together watching everything. You know what I'm saying? It all in. He can go ahead and he can back me up on every statement made because he was right there, right along with me, side by side for the ride, baby. So yeah, just know who you got online with you right now. It's basically what I'm trying to get across to you.
That's what you got. That's what you got right there, bro.
That's it. He could tell the story, baby. He could tell it better than I can.
That's right. When you get the X on 3 Live Stream, that's the homies. What's it?
Yeah, we need to get him on here one week. So he
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you'll enjoy him, man. You'll enjoy him.
So I guess we'll have to wrap this up. And I'm going to say this. I think the best thing that sums up Shawn Michaels' career as a whole is that I'm going to play this out for you. 2002, before SummerSlam, he cut a promo, he did an interview, and he was sitting in a wheelchair. He was battered, he was bloody, he was beaten, and he was down. And he was yelling at Triple H. And he stood up out of that wheelchair, and that wheelchair went flying off behind him. And he said 7 simple words. You don't hunt what you can't kill. And I think that sums up Shawn Michaels' career 100%.
I'm gonna let Big Stan take us out after I make some remarks. I think what sums this guy up real well is I'm just really impressed with what a man he is. You know, like I said before, none of us are special. You know, all of us have things that we've done in our past that have been bad or not good, or maybe we're still doing. And it takes a real man. He went through that whole show and he called himself out the whole time. I did this. I did that. I did this. Owning up to everything. Turned his life around. Turned his family around. What more respect can you get than that? You know? All respect,
Absolutely.
sir. For sure.
Absolutely. As for me, I just want to kind of reflect on Shawn's body of work and just throw out there a few bullet points as to, you know, things that people should remember as a fan. You know, he was in the AWA, you know, as a Midnight Rockers. That's memorable. His WWE run as the Rocker with Marty Jannetty. Of course, his solo career, his singles career, with, you know, starting out with Sherry Martel, going into the Attitude Era. You know, we've already covered the Razor Ramon ladder matches and things like that. You know, his matches with Sid Vicious, Kevin Nash, you know what I'm saying? And then he pushed Triple H on to the point to where he couldn't do nothing but evolve, in which he did. His match with Stone Cold, of course, Bret Hart, the Iron Man match at WrestleMania 12. Even the Montreal Screwjob. We don't want to go without mentioning that. We're not going. Of course, we're not going to get into it, but because we already know what it is as wrestling fans. But all of these things, he was a vital part of the McMahon Corporation during the Attitude Era. Coming back from retirement, being in the Elimination Chamber match, the first ever Elimination Chamber match. Mm-hmm. Him and Chris Jericho getting a chance to go at it. Him and Kurt Angle. We don't want to leave out him and Shelton Benjamin. Have even got in there and got at it. In the ring and everything. I mean, I'm just going on and on and on about things that should be touched on before we get out of here. Of course, his matches later on with Ric Flair in the retirement match. Him taking on the Undertaker, putting his career on the line against the Undertaker on his way out of the door. But like I said, Shawn Michaels has left such a tremendous body of work for us to enjoy for a lifetime. And with that, I just want to say I really do appreciate all the efforts from Shawn Michaels, aka the Heartbreak Kid, the Showstopper, the Icon, the Main Event, and Mr. WrestleMania for a reason. All right. D-Generation X will live on. Shawn Michaels, of course, will live on. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
So in my closing remarks, we're going to go ahead and shout the chat out real quick, and then we're going to get out of here. So if I miss somebody, it's your chance. M3, Danny D, McDJ, Patrick Stuckey, McDJC, I think, Curtis Schultz, Pop the Trunk Toys. Who am I missing?
Patrick.
I said Patrick. We'll say it again. Patrick Stuckey.
I gotta say this, man. I am so glad that my little Brody was able to come in here with us for a little bit to join in. Really glad to have somebody in here from my family that was able to check me out for a change.
Thank you.
Who better than my little Brody, man? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for stopping in. We also got DFS. He stopped in tonight. I think that's going to do it. I think we got everybody.
Yeah, appreciate everybody for hanging out with us, kicking it with us in the text. I didn't get a chance to type my message in tonight like I normally do, but y'all already know what it is, baby.
You know what? With these closing remarks from Patrick Stuckey right here, we're going to do what we do, and it's time for us to get the fuck out. Peace.
Yeah.